All right, so there is a wonderful human being on TikTok that I follow, and she is going through how to teach her dog how to fetch the actual duck. They're not competing at this point, so I feel as though my experience is okay to share. Now, if they were already competing, I'm sorry, I'm not going to help with that because my dog has not successfully passed all aspects of the field event in a 1 day increment. She was 50-50 last we checked, but she was also just under 6 months old both times. So this is kind of running down through the list of what I did with Levy, and this is what worked. I have not had the opportunity to try this out on other puppies. However, I have been able to kind of flex this list with Finley, but it does help to have already taught or have had this successfully done, successfully-ish done with one dog, so then they can kind of see and learn from there. So the first thing that I did with Levy was when I brought her home, not the first day, but within the first 2 weeks, I would throw an object and say fetch. The object that I threw was this small, about this size, blue Kong, and I would have a party when she brought it back. So I just wiggle her ears around, party, 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 we're having a party. And because my high-pitched voice and I had so much energy, it got her interested. So that took a few weeks. Next thing I did, and she was this was in July when this happened, I taught a place. So where she was younger, I had a different color. So I was outside where I was like mostly brown, patio. And I had a bright green little lick mat, and I flipped it upside down. And whenever she stepped on it, I marked and rewarded her. And eventually, I moved to where she needed to be, and she learned place that way. Place for us is beside me on my left side. It can be right side or left, and you don't have to use the word place, but this is the location that the dog's going to be during those hunt events. Hunt test or hunt events, depending on, where you're testing through, UKC or AKC. When she got that down, I was like, cool. Need to learn things. This part's a little out of order, this part here, but I'm going to still share. This is the order I wish I would have taught her, and this is the order I started working with Finley on. You add duck scent into a jar. So I saw this on police canines doing it for smelling out bombs, and so I was like, I could probably use this on Levy. So add duck scent to a paper towel. I used liquid duck scent. I folded it all up, made sure it was fully saturated. I put it in a mason jar, wide mouth lid, and I would hold it. Well, I'm holding something, so she's gonna, put her nose in through. So when she brought her nose in through, I marked and I rewarded at the mouth of the jar. So she started building a positive reinforcement with the smell. Again, she hasn't ever seen a duck before, hasn't even put one in her mouth, but she's starting to build this positive relationship with the smell. The next thing you're going to want to do is, Levy's actually outside, so we're going to move the camera here to get her, because she is crying at the door. Hi, baby. What a good girl. All right, let me look at this. All right. The next thing you're going to do after you've taught fetch and place is you're going to bring those together, and you're going to hold their collar, because that's okay to do in UKC starter level. You're going to hold their collar and hold it where your hand's kind of going like this. So if it gets you in the practice that if they ever break away, you're not going to break your fingers. Learn that from a judge. So you're going to start teaching. So they're going to go in a place, and you're going to say wait. And this is kind of where those crate games come in. And I don't think I've discussed crate games yet on this channel, but I'll make another video at a different time. So they've already learned weight at some point in this via crate games and, working with food and everything like that. But these are all the puzzle pieces. And this is why I build the way that I am. So I don't have to use force methods until much later in her development. By much later, I mean, I want to get through the starter hunt level and junior hunt level. So AKC, UKC, AKC. and then move on to, you know, your senior hunt title. And if we can't get past the first few, then we'll go in with more of the traditional methods, the force methods, and fine tune those things that I missed. But this is what will be working for us for junior hunt level. And I know this because it already started to work. So we're going to bring together the place and fetch command. And you're going to really, really reward higher value things if they bring it to hand, but if they bring it close to you, you're going to give them a lower value treat, but they still get rewarded. And the dogs are going to play, so this is going to get louder. The next thing that we worked on was teaching Levy to swim. If your dog doesn't know how to swim, they'll need to learn how to swim. But we taught her how to swim, and then we very quickly added the fetch because that was something already rewarding. When I teach a swim, I like to, one, make sure they're wearing a life jacket. I bring treats and I bring a toy, and I get in the lake with them, and then I have them follow me around, and it's really cute. Anyway, the next thing we did was we put the duck scent on the one toy. We moved away from the Kong at this point, and I actually got a like duck bumper that like will float and everything, and I got a waxy type duck scent as well as the liquid, and I put the liquid inside the duck, and then I put the waxy coating on the outside. She did not want to pick it up at first. However, I was like, I repeated the command. For me, there's some commands I do not want to repeat myself, but this one I'm okay repeating myself because I built that. This is what I'm asking you to do. Remember how to do this? Like, you know how, like, great job. Have a party. I feel like I look like a crazy person, but that's fine. And then the next one was that I would either pick, so you put duck scent on it and reward when the dog approaches it, you know, that slow build similar to what you did with the scent originally. And then I would pick land or water. If your dog is more driven to pick, like retrieve something from land, use land. If not, go after water. It was at this point that we went to our first event. And Levy did not pick up the duck for the first land throw. For the first land retrieve, she didn't pick up the duck. And what the judge told me was, it's okay. If you don't have another dog to show her to retrieve it, you retrieve it. So put her in a sit stay or a sit, there might be an automatic stay in there, and you are going to retrieve the duck. Either A, you do that, or B, the other option is you walk with that dog, you retrieve it, and then you kind of, let's say this is like, oh, I have the duck. Oh, what's this? Oh, look, I'm fetching it. I'm doing it. And then you give yourself pat. You make it where you are doing the task, and they're like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. So you're modeling the behavior for them. This worked really well. We went from her really like hesitant to the second lamb retrieve. She retrieved the duck, brought it back. First water event, she was really scared by how blue the water was, but she wanted to get the duck more than anything, and then she brought back the duck on the second water retrieve. For the first one, the duck drifted too far away where she couldn't find it again. Got something in my throat. Anyway, after that event, Levy and I really focused on sounds because that was what was really holding her up. And I think that this is the place where it really comes to knowing your dog. I also wanted to work on a hold, but I did not want to do force fetch. Again, I don't want to fine tune anything. I want her to fall in love with the game, and then we'll fine tune things after. But that's my philosophy. I'm not against force fetch. It's something I may use in the future, but it's not something I want to pursue right now, especially where she was 5 months old while going to both of these events. So what I did instead was intuitive fetching, where I'm going to teach a hold, but there's no pinching the ear or anything like that. I may open her mouth a little bit, and we started out with a leash. And we used the Trick Dog, I think I said Trick Dog Advanced in my TikTok that I made. It was not advanced. It was the intermediate Trick Dog title to work on her just holding the leash and bringing it to me. And you know, dogs will bring it, like they'll hold it in the very front of their mouth. And I was watching more and more bite sport videos where, you know, the further back the dog's holding it, the stronger their bite is, or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's like really interesting. Let me practice that with her. So the next thing that we worked on, and I made a video over what my plan was for a hold. I had her open her mouth, and instead of forcing her mouth open by pinching or anything, I stuck my finger in her mouth a little bit. Didn't cause any pressure, just put my hand in there. So I guess there was pressure, but no actual forcing pressure. It's just like that. And she would open her mouth, and I would put something in, and I would like increase the size of the toy, but she would hold it in her mouth and give her tons of kisses because my face is against her face. And she's not going to drop the toy if my face is right there. She's not going to back away and let go. I'm giving her kisses to have the time go up and up and up. And I'm going to say, let go. I'm going to take the toy from her and give her a treat, a high value treat. And so we worked on that. And that was like our version of like force fetch. And I started that after our second hunt event. Our second hunt event, I got the really, really great advice by someone else here, Kevin from the Hunt Test, thank you, was actually, you know, you have the dog sit and you go out and get it. The judge was the one that was like, hey, go out with your dog. Kevin, he's like, hey, with my dog Thor, you know, model behavior, all that stuff. So I was like, yeah. So we practiced that a bit at the hunt event too. And that went over well. You know, we had some recall issues. I posted the videos, everyone could see that. But when I got home, she was upset with me. So I put the duck away. I got a duck from the hunt event area, and what she was doing was she was trying to keep the duck from me. She didn't want to bring it back. So I reached out to a few Facebook groups I'm in, and I was really upset because I was like, what am I doing wrong? So I took the duck from her, and we didn't fetch for 2.5, 3 weeks. And I brought out a toy and we fetched a little, and she loved it. And I still didn't bring out the duck. And about a week later, so it was about a month after our last hunt event, I brought the duck out. And she has been on 100% since. We have not gone to another event to prove this 100%. However, she is bringing it back to hand, and I'd say about 50% of the time she is placing prior to giving it to me per hand. We've also incorporated where she has to search, because a weak spot that I noticed during an event was that she wasn't smelling for long enough. She was giving up, and I didn't want her to do that. So what we've been doing is I've been going into the yard, I've been hiding the duck, and she has to search for it. I give the command search, which is different than the command fetch. She starts out in a place, I leave her there, I say stay or wait. Primarily it's wait. But I go into a yard where she either can't see me or my back's turned the whole time, and I hide the duck. And I'm not, the duck's not touching a bunch of different things, but it's the same area where we've been fetching. And from there, she has to search for it. And when she finds it, I say, yes! And I tell her to hold, and I say, get a good hold on it. So she still hears hold. She knows what hold means. And so she gets a good hold on it, where she feels confident bringing it back to me without dropping it. And then she brings it to me per hand. And then, to reward her, I put her in place and I throw it and I tell her fetch and she brings it back. So that's what we've been doing. Our training sessions are like 10, 15 minutes long, or not very long at all. Once a week so far it's been, maybe twice a week. But that's really what we've been doing. And I need to introduce the whistle because we're going to be moving into AKC events. I say she is with a different handler because I'll be not in the area. I have a work trip coming up and I will be gone for a few months. So I thankfully got a hold of her breeder, and he got me in contact with someone who will handle her. So I need to teach her the whistle, how to use that. I don't know how to use it, so that we'll figure that one out. But my recommendation for anyone who's trying to get into this is start with UKC, then go to AKC. That's the advice that was given to me, and I'm falling in love with it. And I'm not a hunter, I don't go hunting. But more important than me falling in love with it, Levy's falling in love with it. For Finley, what I've been doing, because she does not want to pick up the duck at all, and as time goes on, the duck gets more and more gross, which is important for Levy to know to get those things, is that because Finley's competitive, I will have Levy stay. I'll try to send Finley out. If Finley won't pick it up, I send Levy after it, and Finley then tries to race her to get the duck. Levy normally wins. But if Levy doesn't win, I say thank you. I don't say yes, but I say thank you. And hi. Sorry, she just got on the counter a bit. She's so cute. That's something I let her do because I want her to be explorative, all that good stuff. Hey, get down. So we're working on when I tell her to get down off the counters. But anyway, so then, Finley's getting it modeled by me, she's getting it modeled by Levy, and she's picking up on it, but she's not great around other dogs, so I don't think I will be taking her to Hunt Events through UKC, because that's the venue she's allowed to compete in. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with training with Levy. That's where we've been successful and not so successful. I've shown my successes and failures on this channel because I think transparency and showing the process is important, because I would have no clue where to start if I didn't have YouTube, if I didn't have my breeder, and if I didn't have the amazing hunt community that I've been a part of. There are things that people do that I don't agree with, and I'm sure there's things I do that people are just like, well, that's too soft on your dog. Your dog won't excel as quickly. But I'm also not going out hunting with my dog in a scenario where there's actually danger of getting shot. So that's a different viewpoint on it too. But yeah, so I'm going to wrap up the video now, or finish it now. So thank you for watching. This is the first time I'm going to say this. Probably won't be the last. But if you like this video, you want to see more of it, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. I don't post super often. I think I've been primarily posting about dogs. But I have other topics on this channel. I play Minecraft. That's the only video game I play. I've talked a little bit about how I got through college and my journey in the military so far. Haven't posted anything about the military in a while. And then I also have some academic stuff that I've posted for my college. But yeah, so have a great day and bye.